Hi there, welcome back to the channel. This wasn't actually a video I was originally going to do, but then I thought maybe it's one I should do. So pushing myself out of my comfort zone is always something that I try to do whenever I can. So this video is not about content, it's just a bit of a catch up. I've just come back from summer holidays and I've had a few shoots in there and a couple of clients, but essentially no workshops or anything like that that's been happening. So for me this year, summer felt a little slower, messier, and honestly much needed. I just needed time to and space to just tinker and do things. Less pressure to produce, although I have still kept up my YouTubes right throughout all of this. So yeah, I mean, this is basically a holiday recap, a post-creative reset. As I said, I didn't plan this video at all, so I guess that's why it probably needs to exist. But anyway, so what did I get up to over my summer break? So shooting just for fun. No pressure, no clients, no brief. I went out and with a couple of friends. I've got a friend who's got this fabulous yellow chair, which is called Thelma, and she's got a little mini one called George or Georgia. I call it Georgia. I think George is better. But anyway, and we went out and did a couple of location shots with Thelma, so that was loads of fun. We had coffee and catch-up and lunch, and we went and did some shopping and all sorts of things. So that was just fabulous. Shooting out of curiosity like this is just a ton of fun. So what else did I get up to? I went analog. So just before Christmas, I started with Scott, the tintype man, and learning tintype and glass wet plate photography, like old school photography. And that was just amazing. And then once I had sort of learnt what was going on, we did a shoot. Now, I'm going to show you, I went and picked up the images. So let's just, hopefully you can see them. I can put up the other ones. But these are the actual tintype images. So these have been finished and varnished. And this is the shoot that we did with Nicola. And we had her dressed up in steampunk. And we were trying different outfits to see which one worked really well. And I loved the details that we got in this one. But I did kind of like the colour and contrast. I know it's black and white, sorry. It's not really colour. It's tonal and contrast that we got in this one with this outfit. So, and then there is this one, which was a close-up of that incredible headpiece. How awesome did that come up? So that was amazing to be able to do that. And I've picked these up and I can't wait to give them to Nicola, although I might keep one. And that was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I am hoping later this year that I was going to do it in February, but I had a little bit of a hiccup there and that had to get it put on hold. But I'm hoping to bring a collaboration with Scott and do a tintype workshop, but that'll probably happen later in the year. What else did I do? I also grabbed my Olympus OM1 camera. So this is it. I bought this second-hand when I was 16, and I probably haven't picked it up in a very long time. It's probably been 40 years since I picked this camera up. Why I kept it, I don't know, but I'm really glad I did. This camera is almost as old as I am. I think it was made in like 68 or 69 or something like that. So I loaded up 35mm film and I took it out on location to a few different shoots and just out and about. I also got given this really cool, I'm hoping you can see it, I know it's backwards, but this is a leather strap. It's got my name on it from the fabulous guys at Lucky Straps, and oh my god, it is just the perfect companion for my Olympus OM1. So I ran one film through it, black and white, and I'll show you the images in a tick. And it was really interesting to see how I could take the knowledge that I have of photography now and apply it to a really old manual 35mm. It was a little bit hit and miss in spots. I got some images that I loved, some were beautiful. I found in really high contrast areas it didn't perform as well as I had hoped. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm still getting used to it. So I've run my first film through it. I've just loaded up my second film, and I don't just take shots willy-nilly. And I will hopefully see if I improve on the second roll. Both of the first two rolls that I put through are black and white, but I do have, and I'm going to be interested to go and have a look, I've got a colour film that has been sitting in my fridge for probably 15 to 20 years unused. So it's obviously expired film. So I'm going to put that in it too at some stage, obviously on something that doesn't matter. You wouldn't want to do it on a wedding or anything like that, but it will be interesting to have a play with that. So that's what else I sort of was playing with this year, or these holidays anyway. I did do a few product reviews and things like that, but I put most of them on hold and I'm now getting back into them, so you'll start seeing some more product reviews come in. I've also got more shoots coming up in the studio, so that will be lots of fun to share with that again. But being summer holidays, you've got to get other stuff done, right? So we did a spare room update. My daughter moved out a very long time ago and it's just been sitting there ever since. I do use it as a spare room for people to come stay, but I decided that it really needs a freshen up and a repaint. I bought new linen. I made new artwork, so I created artwork and had it printed and framed and put on the walls, and it just looks amazing. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So that was a project that we did. Mind you, hubby did most of the work. I just sort of supervised. We also updated the kitchen. About 2 weeks before Christmas, my oven died. Don't you love it? So I ended up buying a new oven, but then it took like a month between Christmas and New Year's and blah, 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 before I could get that done. But we discovered when we did get the oven that it won't fit where my old oven was, because they're all different sizes now, of course. So we had to rejig the kitchen a bit, and then we discovered that it wouldn't fit in with the gas hot plate. And I've always wanted an induction cooktop anyway, so we thought, well, why not? So we got the induction cooktop as well, and then I thought, well, the range hood doesn't work very well, so let's get a new one of those too. So all of that happened over Christmas with painting the spare room, waiting on plumbers and electricians and all the rest of it. So, you know, I guess creative energy doesn't only come from cameras. But you've got to have some downtime, don't you? So I'm in a bit of a book slump. I keep picking up books and I just can't get into them. And then picking up another one and picking up another one. I had finished before Christmas the Robin Hobb saga. So there's like 21 books or something. I mean, it took a while to get through them, and I guess I just need a bit of a break or a refresh before I can get into something else. Everything else I pick up I just can't get into. But I have been binge watching. So the latest Emily in Paris drop, so I watched all of that with a friend. Stranger Things final season dropped, so we watched that as well. Fisk, which is an Australian sort of comedy show. Maybe you don't know it. Hadn't seen it before, but it's got Kitty Flanagan in it, who I really like. So we watched all 3 seasons of that. The final season. And I did a total 90s binge for movies and stuff like that. So, Dude, Where's My Car? And Don't Tell Mum the Babysitter's Dead, and Death Becomes Her, and a whole heap of others. I also watched some really even older, like Lucille Ball movies with a friend of mine who stayed for a couple of days. So we really just chilled, watched a lot of movies, listened to a lot of music, and just, potted around. Of course, there was the, catch up with family, both my side's the family and hubby's side of the family. So that got done. So that was nice just to get out and catch up with everybody. That's sort of what I've been up to. I guess the big thing for me was picking up the analog film camera. I just been feeling this calling towards film lately. And I haven't used it in so long, and doing the tintype with Scott really sort of had me thinking, I've got to get that camera out. I've got to load a film into it. Do I know how to load it anymore? Do I know how to use an old film camera? And I actually found when I picked it up, the muscle memory was still there. I picked up a film and opened the back and went, yep, that's how you do it. And it really meant slowing down and shooting intentionally, because I've got fewer frames. I only had sort of 24 frames to work. So it shifted how I saw things. It was just nice, really nice. I've got some other projects that I want to play with too, but there's still time. So what's happening next? I have also been creating a brand new online class, which is Back to Basics in Black and White. And I'm going to tell you more on that later. But this one's different because it comes back to that film again, back to basics. And I'm really excited to teach those basic elements this year. So I will be putting out that self-paced class very, very soon. Almost done. I'm also doing a Back to Basics in person with Flash. So I've got some workshops coming up with that soon. I'll put the link for that below. So if you've got a Flash over Christmas, or you've had a Flash that's been sitting in the cupboard and you just haven't pulled it out, don't feel comfortable with it, not getting the results you want from it, maybe have a look at doing that one. I'm also going to be bringing back later in the year my Back to Basics macro class, which I think I ran 4 or 5 last year. These are really small, hands-on back to basics with macro. So it really is a fantastic spot to start if you've got a macro lens, or if you're into like lens babies. So because you can do macro with a lot of the lens babies, so I sort of worked them into that as well for a couple of the classes. I've also got more workshops coming. We've already got the first 2 for this year are already pretty much sold out. So we've got more floating fruit. I've got a fabulous Valentine's Day one coming up. Really excited for that. I guess my big one that's coming up for this year is the Bland Photographer Retreat. So I have booked an incredible old Post and Telegraph office in Bland, which is in country Victoria. It's got some amazing vintage rooms. I've got a small selection of photographers coming along. We've got 2 rooms. We'll have 2 models in each room. We'll have 2 sessions a day, and we've got 2 models on one day, 2 models on another day, and we're going to be spending the whole weekend shooting. I've got some plans for even the Saturday night. I've got goodie bags that I'm reaching out to. I've already got a fabulous response from some of my contacts. More on that later. It's just going to be an amazing weekend. It's the first retreat that I have organised, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. This is not a huge retreat with hundreds of people and all the rest of it. And there are those out there, and they are amazing, and go do them. But this one is just a very, very small. So even there's going to be no more than like 4 photographers per model, plus me and my assistant. But it's just going to be amazing. I have got some incredible shoots lined up. I have got some content coming out soon. So much. I'm really jazzed and excited to get into 2026. It just feels right. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing myself there. So, thanks for hanging out. I have more creative work coming, so keep an eye out for that. And let me know in the comments, what did you get up to this summer or winter? I'd love to know. So that's it for this video. I'll see you next time on YouTube.